The story of the flood, recorded in Genesis chapters 6 to 9, is one of the most powerful accounts in the Bible. It is a narrative of both judgment and mercy, showing how holy God deals with human wickedness, yet preserves life through his grace. The flood is not just a story of destruction, it is also a story of covenant, faith, and new beginnings. The world before the flood. By the time of Noah, the earth had become thoroughly corrupt. Genesis chapter 6 describes a world filled with violence, moral depravity, and spiritual rebellion. Humanity, created in the image of God, had turned away from him and defiled his creation. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. Genesis chapter 6 verse 5. God was grieved at what his creation had become. The earth, originally described as very good in Genesis chapter 1, was now saturated with sin. God's response was decisive. He would bring a flood to cleanse the earth. Noah, a righteous man. In the midst of this widespread corruption, one man stood out, Noah. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Genesis chapter 6 verse 8. Noah was described as righteous, blameless among the people of his time, and someone who walked with God. Because of his obedience and faith, God chose to spare Noah and his family from the coming judgment. God gave Noah detailed instructions to build an ark, a massive vessel made of gopher wood, covered in pitch, with specific dimensions and 3 decks. Noah was to bring into the ark his wife, sons, and daughters-in-law. 2 of every kind of animal, male and female. 7 pairs of clean animals for sacrifices. Enough food for his family and all the animals. The flood begins. When the ark was completed and Noah had obeyed all that God commanded, the time came. In the 600th year of Noah's life, all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. Genesis chapter 7 verse 11. Rain fell for 40 days and 40 nights, and the waters rose, covering even the highest mountains. Everything that lived on land perished, every man, woman, child, animal, and bird not inside the ark. The floodwaters prevailed on the earth for 150 days. It was a scene of complete judgment, but within the ark, there was life, safety, and the mercy of God. The waters recede in a new beginning. God remembered Noah and all who were with him in the ark. He caused a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters began to recede. Eventually, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. After sending out a raven and then a dove, Noah received confirmation that the ground was drying. When the earth was ready, God instructed Noah and his family to leave the ark. The first thing Noah did upon stepping out onto dry ground was to build an altar and offer sacrifices to God. God was pleased with Noah's worship, and he made a covenant never to destroy the earth by flood again. The rainbow, a sign of mercy. God's covenant with Noah came with a sign, the rainbow. I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. Genesis chapter 9 verse 13. This covenant was not only for Noah but for all generations to come. It was a promise that, despite human sin, God would preserve the earth. The rainbow serves as a continual reminder of God's mercy and his commitment to life. Divine judgment and divine mercy. The flood is a sobering reminder of how seriously God takes sin. It reveals the just character of God, who cannot overlook evil. But it also shows the mercy of God, who saves, protects, and restores. Noah's story points forward to a greater act of salvation. Just as the ark was a place of refuge from judgment, so Jesus Christ becomes the ultimate ark of salvation for all who put their faith in him. The story of the flood is not just ancient history, it is a spiritual message for today. It teaches that God sees and judges sin. He calls the righteous to walk with him in obedience. He always provides a way of escape, and he remains faithful to his promises. From the depths of destruction came a new beginning, from judgment came grace. And from the flood, we learn that God's mercy is greater than human failure.